Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on this exciting episode of The Counselor. My name is Olabisi Obayomi. On this exciting episode of The Counselor, I'm here with my sister. You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you so much.
Please
for
introduce
having me.
yourself.
My name is Lara Gboyega Adedeji.
You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you.
So
very
good to
much.
have you.
Same here. It's good to be here.
Thank you. On this exciting episode of The Counselor, we're going to be speaking about something really important, really spicy to our marriage. And it's about creative ways of spicing up our marriage. So I know that you've been married for like 10 years now, going to 10 years, yes. And I know that you have, years of experience in your marriage. I know you so well. I know your marriage is beautiful and there's just so much God is doing through you, blessing lives. So we really want to know, what are the creative ways of spicing up our marriages?
The first thing I would love to say in response to that is there a need to spice up your marriage?
Okay.
Now, for a lot of people, they ask, is it not the same person, the same spouse I've been married to? Why do I need to spice it up? Now, there must be a picture of what you desire to see. One of the things that is very important that people must not forget is that except you build an expectation, your desires cannot be met. It can't be achieved.
True.
So for your marriage, there must be an expectation. What do you expect to see? What do you expect to be the product or the fruit of your marriage? What kind of marriage do you want to have? So when you create that beautiful expectation, that desire, then you now feed it with content. What can I do to achieve this picture, this expectation of mine? So the first thing I want to say is, do you have a desire to have a very spicy marriage, in the sense of, do you want an exciting marriage, or you just want the same old, let's keep doing what we used to do? And marriage often falls into that, let's keep doing what we used to do, especially when you start having children. You just keep, let's just get by, everybody gets busy. You suddenly became a mother of one, suddenly you have 2, 3, 4, depending on the number of children you have. Then as children start coming in, the dynamics start changing. Because the dynamics start changing, you start either going with the flow or you create a new expectation. So there's always that starting point of having an expectation. What kind of marriage? When it was just you and your husband, there was a picture you had, you started driving it. Now with the children in the picture, maybe other dependents or other people that you have to care for and take responsibility for, you have to, the dynamics has changed. So you have to reorganize and re-strategize your expectation. So the first thing we must always, put as in the front burner is, what is my new expectation for this marriage? If you're newly married, you already have a picture maybe where you were courting, which is important. But now that you are married, if you have done 3 years, there needs to be a re-strategizing. So if you're 5 years in marriage actually have milestones. If you're 3 years in marriage, you must constantly re-strategize, because as the dynamics of your marriage is changing, you must change the flow and the direction of your expectation. You don't expect you that has now become a mother of 3 to do the things that you used to do when you were just with your husband or when you were a mother of 1. So you need to re-strategize. Don't create a false impression, or don't use another person's dynamic to work out your own realities. It will become a problem. So how do we practically spice up our marriage?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you are a newlywed, during your courtship, you have an expectation of what your marriage will be like. What are the basics? Because I don't want to go into, because you and your spouse, you are unique and different. You're different from my own spouse, you're different from me. But what are the basics, the underlying basics that run through the dynamics of all marriages? There is a man in that marriage and there's a woman in that marriage. First thing first, as the woman, you need to understand who a man is. You understand the love language of that man. You understand the things that excites that man. So what is the first basic thing? When that man married you, he married you for companionship. So to spice up your marriage, you need to spice up your companionship. What does that mean? You have to become your husband's friend. You have to continue to be your husband's friend. The dynamic of that will change as the milestone of your marriage changes. So it's either you go deeper in that friendship or you go more creative with the friendship. Now, for example, I'm going to give the example of the relationship I have with my husband. My husband and I, the background we're coming from, we were friends before we got married. Now, the relationship my husband and I had was a platonic relationship, friendship. We just were good friends. Especially me, I didn't know we're going to get married. So we were just good friends. So we carried that into our marriage. But the dynamics changed because now we're going to get married. So when we got into courtship, we started talking, and really, we started talking about details that we didn't talk about when we were friends. So we started, getting to know each other, getting to know what this person beyond the friendship, what this person likes and do not like, what this person is excited about and what is not exciting to this person. But the basics, so that I don't go deep into, what works for us, is that you must make your friendship work at all costs. That's the first spice needed for your marriage. Companionship is the reason why God instituted marriage in the first place. For you to, he said, there was no companion, there was no help comparable to the man. God created the woman and instituted the marriage. So you must spice up your friendship. You must be friends with your husband. That's like the basic rule.
Sorry to cut you in there.
Yes, ma'am.
What happens when there's no friendship in a marriage? Like there's no friendship at all right now, and they want to spice it up and get into that zone of friendship. What do they do? People like that.
If you are in a marriage relationship, depending on the milestone of your marriage, let me use new words for example. If you're newlywed and you are not friends yet with your spouse, you have to create friendship. So let's go to basics of friendship. Friendship 101. How do you become friends with somebody? First, you make yourself friendly. So you have to be a friendly person to have a friend. So make yourself friendly. If, for example, I'm meeting you for the first time, how do I strike the chord of friendship with you? I make myself available. I make myself accessible. I make myself the kind of person that you want to have conversation with. You want to have, dealings with. So that's being friendly. So the first thing is make yourself friendly with your spouse. So you create time. Friendship takes time. It takes you giving attention and creating a bond. So those are important things you have to make sure happens between you and your spouse. Create time for that friendship. Create a bond. There must be something, there must be a zone where you meet, where you throw away all the facades and you are actually down to plain friendship. You can talk about anything. You can have conversations that are deep and meaningful. Those are the things you do with true friendship. So that's what should happen in the marriage. So if you have not kickstarted that, those are the things you should start doing. So if, for example, you have a friend, you want to find out what your friend likes. So you want to start keying into what that your friend likes. So for example, you have a spouse that loves football. You have to make yourself love football to win that friend. So if you have a spouse that loves football, you have to start loving football. So if, for example, you've been a diehard fan of Chelsea and the person you want to be friends with is a Man United fan, what does that mean? You have to switch alliance. Why? You want to gain a friend. So you have to consciously put yourself in that friendship zone. What makes you a friend with somebody? You have certain things in common. So you have to push yourself to the frontiers where you start having a common, because that's where the bond will be created. You have to start having common interests, common alliances. That's important.
Thank you very much. So let's move to the next one. What are the other creative ways to
So
spice
when
up?
you have gotten to that place of friendship is the basics, in fact is the foundation. When you have the friendship sorted out, then you spice up that friendship. Because without friendship, you can't spice up your marriage. Friendship is like the foundation for spicing up your marriage. So after you have the foundation sorted out, depending on the milestone of your marriage, if you are a newlywed, what you just keep doing is refueling that friendship. Make sure that communication oils the friendship. You keep talking, you keep conversing. You see, you don't create vacuum in your communication, because how do you become closer with your friend? By talking, by communicating. It's the same thing in marriage. You don't sit down and this person is facing north and the other person south, and you expect to spice up your marriage. No, you keep oiling it with communication. So then as you move further in your marriage, now you have children coming in. Maybe your marriage is 3-5 years. You want to create time, because now what happens is the time you had together when you were newlywed, nobody interrupting the friendship. It was solely just the two of you. Now the dynamics has changed. There's somebody depending on you. Maybe there's a mother-in-law in the house. Maybe there's a help in the house. Maybe there's somebody. You don't have the same space you used to have and the time. What you now do is creatively create time. So what do? For example, maybe you both have the same ride home from work. When you are in that vehicle, talk about everything and anything. Make sure you fill in the space. My husband used to usually talk about a talking quota. One of the things that will help marriages, and which is one of the bane that marriages are going through, is that the talk time, every human being has an average talk time that they are comfortable with in a day. If you give all your talk time to your friend, your female friend in the office, your colleague, and you now get home exhausted, you cannot give your talk time to your spouse. So a communication gap is being created. The friendship is being strained. Your marriage will be affected. It won't be spiced up, because it's in your conversations that you will not have action point, things that you will start doing together. If you don't talk about it, you won't do it. So you have to start talking about it. So you have to create that talk time. So even if it's to make sure that you, in between your work time, put a phone call across to your husband. I just said I should check up on you. How is your day? What is going on? What stands out for you today? And all that. You are bridging that gap, because when you get home, you're busy with the baby, you're trying to make a meal, and before you know, you're tired, exhausted, you've gone to sleep, and next day you are up early and you are out. So make sure every opportunity that you have, communicate with your spouse. Don't let television take the place of your friendship. Don't let Telemundo and all those things take the place of your friendship. Have meaningful conversations. That is what fuels the friendship, and that's what will spice up your marriage.
Wow. Meaningful communication, being friends with your spouse, so important. Thank you so much, Ma. My last question in conclusion will be, how do you balance these things? Being friends with your husband, your work, even when you have the children, you have a help in the home, you have every other person around you. How do you do this thing to ensure that you create that time? What are those things that you put in place quickly?
Intentionality. I have a spouse that is more intentional. I'm able to say my husband is more intentional about communication than I do. Somebody must drive it. Somebody must drive that communication. If you notice your husband is not the talking type, you know that the responsibility falls on you to drive it. Some people tell you, my husband is not the talking type. It's because you are not talking about something he's interested in. If you find a zone somebody is interested in, be it politics, sport, entertainment, find what excites the person. You will get the person to talk. When you start talking about what excites the person, it will lead you to other conversations. And all the things that you feel he doesn't want to talk about, you end up talking about it. So there must be somebody on the driver's seat that is intentional. Even though the responsibility falls on both, but you will realize there's somebody in that relationship that has that edge over the other. So the person that has that edge must maximize it, use it. So by the time you create intentional communication moments in your relationship, you realize that it will start flowing naturally. You realize, this is what we just do. We just find ourselves doing this. There are certain times or moments we just gist and just talk and, you know, catch up on things that is going on with us and other people around us.
Wow, what an exciting time. What a beautiful and a blessed time. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Wow, I believe that you've really been blessed today. And I know that you have been blessed, and there's so much to pick on. It's important that you have an expectation. It's so important that you communicate, that you're friends with your spouse, that you communicate and you're intentional in all that you do. These things are very, very important. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so thank you all so much for coming today to watch. One thing we want you to do, share with people that you know that would love this, people that you know that they need to hear this in their marriage, even those that are not yet married but they need this wisdom. Please share with them. Please like this video, comment in the comment section below, and share with everybody. We want you to subscribe and click on the notification bell just beside it, so that whenever it is that we upload videos like this, you can get notified by it. And I trust that you'll be blessed doing this. God bless you. See you again in another video. Bye. Do we have the
Mrs. Adedeji, what's the... You are resting like someone that wants to collapse towards
Anything, I should give her the angle.
Hey, give the angle, you tilt your leg.
Hey.
That's it, and be straight. All right.
Hello everyone.
And then Mrs. Adedeji, drop your jaw. A little bit. That's too much. Yeah. And face her. All right. Please, let's start.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on this exciting episode of The Counselor. My name is Olabisi Obayomi. On this exciting episode of The Counselor, I'm here with my sister. You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you so much
Please
for having
introduce
me.
yourself.
My name is Lara Gboyega Adedeji, and
Sorry.
My name is Lara Gboyega Adedeji.
Yes.
Do that again. Just you, Mrs. Adedeji.
Okay.
You just continue.
Topic. It's not funny, sir. Alright, so we're going to be moving into something really important, and it's about creating spicy ways.
Now,
Just click on the notification bell as well, and click on the notification bell as well, so that whenever it is that we upload videos like this that you'll be interested in, you'll definitely get a notification of it. You'll definitely
Marvin's making you. I'll put it in the making.
So
now,
very important.
Do the subscribe again. That's subscribe.
So very importantly, we want you to subscribe and click on the notification bell just beside it, so that whenever it is that we upload videos like this, you can get notified by it. And I trust that you'll be blessed doing this. God bless you. See you again in another video. Bye.
Bye. Yes, you.